Andrew himself said it was the best business plan he had ever seen.
Range Wilson.
Back in early 2001, I cashed out all of my high-tech stock holdings and moved from Silicon Valley to Santa Monica, California. My intention, back in those days of unbounded optimism, was to open my own personal training studio. I spent the better part of 6 months crafting a detailed business plan about the studio. One thing I had learned during my years in the business world was that preparation is absolutely critical if you want your startup to be successful. In this case, preparation made it clear to me that because of the real estate costs in the Los Angeles area, I did not have enough cash to open the studio on my own. As I pondered the idea of seeking investors, the 9/11 terrorist attacks changed the world forever. On a personal level, I was glad that all of my friends and family back in New York were safe and sound. On a professional level, it quickly became clear that I was not about to open a personal training studio anytime soon. But the business plan itself had not gone anywhere. By early 2003, I was living in Colorado Springs, and the idea of starting up a new business did not seem quite so ridiculous anymore. In fact, one of my personal training clients, a gentleman named Andrew, was hoping to do exactly that. When I found out he had $200,000 to invest, I asked him to hold off a few weeks before making any kind of final investment decision. I dusted off my business plan and reconsidered it in light of my new situation. Because real estate was not nearly as tight in Colorado Springs as it had been in Los Angeles, it became possible to open up a full-blown health club, not just a personal training studio. But this would be a health club with a twist. In order to use my health club, you would have to use my approach to weight training. This would keep out all the knuckleheads that make most health clubs so unpleasant. Since Andrew was a client of mine, he understood the advantages of my approach, and he expressed enthusiasm towards the overall idea. That spurred me to take the business plan to the next level. I priced out all the equipment costs based on actual quotes from a company that sells refurbished fitness equipment. I went to see several sites where the gym could be located and then figured out the build-out cost based on actual quotes from the contractor who had handled the World Gym build-out. I went through every detail of the daily operations and figured out exactly how everything would work on a day-to-day basis. On the sales and marketing side, I went to every competitor in the area, posing as a potential customer, to gather as much information as I could about the local market. That allowed me to put together a pricing plan that was both competitive and profitable. I also developed a complete marketing plan, including a full set of ready-to-go radio ads. The airtime sellers at the company that owned most of the local radio stations were shocked when they saw what I brought into them. They were used to having to work with businesses to figure out what advantages the businesses had and how to present them in the ad and on and on and on. But I had already done all that. All they had to do was quote me a price. Now all I had to do was write up everything, prepare all the projected financial statements, and present it all to Andrew. And you might think the title of this video was clickbait, but I honestly think that my business plan may have been the best one ever. It came from a Harvard graduate, devoting 20 years of passion to fitness and combining that with 20 years of passion for the business world. I am proud of it to this day. And I was not the only one to think highly of my business plan. Andrew himself said it was the best business plan he had ever seen. There was only one problem. It didn't work. Andrew decided not to invest after all. It was simply too risky. He had worked hard his whole life, built up a nice nest egg, and now I was asking him to risk it all on one guy. Instead, he went for a franchise opportunity. Last I heard, he was opening a Starbucks. And I cannot say that I blame him. He's probably making a very nice living off that Starbucks franchise today. But he did miss the chance to really hit it big if my idea had gone the way I expected it to. He could have helped redefine an industry. Once Andrew passed on the opportunity, I simply gave up on the whole idea. By this point, I had no money of my own to invest, and it's hard to get anyone interested in a startup business based on sweat equity alone. I would have had to put together an even more detailed presentation, complete with a dog and pony show, gone around traveling, found 100 different potential investors before I could maybe finally get one to say yes, at which point I would have no leverage at all. I did not have the time, energy, or money to devote to that sort of pursuit. So what's the status of the business plan now? It's still sitting there waiting. As far as I can tell, the fitness industry has not changed much at all. It is still full of people lying to you. The same opportunity is still there for a health club that can actually deliver better results in less time with no knuckleheads. In one of my alternative futures, I find a way to get back to Colorado Springs, open that health club, and turn the fitness industry on its head. But for now, I don't see any way to do that. And back in 2003, I did not see any way to do it either. Tune in next time to find out what happened when I got creative about my future. Until then, like, comment, share, and/or subscribe. My name is Range Wilson, and I'll see you next time.